Welcome back to Mental Men. Today we're going to be tackling something pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Antifragility.
Antifragility.
It's about more than just bouncing back, you know?
Uh-huh.
It's about thriving on chaos.
Yeah, what's interesting about antifragility is that it really challenges our traditional ideas of strength and resilience.
Right.
We often think about, like, withstanding pressure, but an anti-fragile system,
Yeah.
it actually improves and benefits
Oh, wow.
because of
So
challenges.
it's not just about bouncing back. It's about leveling up because of those obstacles.
Precisely.
Okay.
Yeah, so a resilient system might weather a storm and remain unchanged.
Okay.
But an anti-fragile system
Yeah.
uses that storm to become even stronger.
Can you give us an example, something to really illustrate this idea?
Okay, so imagine the biological system of a plant.
Okay.
Specifically, Arabidopsis thaliana.
Arabidopsis thaliana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Studies have shown that its cell cycle actually becomes more robust when exposed to radiation. Yeah, it's as if the plant learns from the disruption and grows stronger as a result.
So plants can be anti-fragile.
Yes.
What about something closer to like our daily lives?
Sure.
You know, like in the business world or something.
Absolutely. Think of a company with a business model that's built around adaptability.
Okay.
Okay, so instead of crumbling during market shifts,
Right.
they leverage those changes to their advantage.
Interesting.
Yeah, their flexible supply chains and their responsive strategies allow them to thrive in those unpredictable environments.
So they're almost using those market fluctuations as fuel for growth
Exactly.
instead of fearing them.
Yeah, and that's a key distinction between anti-fragility and simply being adaptive.
Okay.
An adaptive system just reacts and adjusts,
Yeah.
but an anti-fragile system goes further.
Okay.
It uses those experiences to leap forward.
So if we apply this to our personal lives,
Yeah.
how can someone become more anti-fragile? Is it just about seeking out challenges?
Well, it's about understanding what makes you fragile in the first place, and then strategically turning those vulnerabilities into strengths.
Interesting.
And there's even a mathematical approach to detecting fragility within a system.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more about this mathematical approach.
Sure.
Does it involve like complex equations and stuff?
Well, it does involve some math,
Okay.
but the core concept is actually surprisingly accessible.
Okay.
It revolves around this idea of convexity,
Convexity.
which, to put it simply, helps us identify how a system responds to stress.
Interesting.
So a fragile system
Yeah.
might break under pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But an anti-fragile system bends and becomes stronger.
So even without diving deep into the math,
Yeah.
we can start to look at things in our lives
Yes.
and assess whether they're fragile, resilient, or anti-fragile.
Exactly. And once you start seeing the world through this lens,
Yeah.
it opens up a whole new way of thinking about challenges and opportunities.
That's an incredibly powerful idea,
It is.
and it's something we can all benefit from exploring further.
Absolutely. And this concept is popping up everywhere, from, how businesses are structured to how cities are designed and even the way computer systems are built.
Right.
It really offers this new perspective on how to thrive
Great.
in a world that's constantly changing.
It's like anti-fragility gives us this new mental model for approaching problems.
Yeah.
Instead of fearing that uncertainty, we can leverage it to our advantage.
Yeah, it's a powerful shift in mindset.
Right.
Think about it in the context of personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
We all set goals and inevitably encounter setbacks along the way.
Yeah. And those moments can be so discouraging.
Right.
You know, we might just be tempted to give up.
But an anti-fragile approach
Sure.
would encourage you to see those setbacks not as failures,
Right.
but as valuable feedback.
Interesting.
They're opportunities to learn, adapt, and refine your approach.
So instead of getting derailed by,
Yeah.
a missed workout or a week of unhealthy eating,
Yeah.
we can use those experiences to create a more sustainable and resilient plan.
It's about understanding that the path to growth isn't linear.
Right.
There will be bumps along the way,
Okay.
and those bumps can actually make us stronger.
That's a really empowering way to think about it.
It is.
It takes the pressure off striving for perfection
Right.
and allows us to embrace the messy process of growth.
And this concept scales up beyond individual growth.
Okay.
Imagine applying these principles to organizations or even entire societies.
How could a company embrace antifragility?
Well, a fragile company
Right.
might have a very rigid hierarchy, a fear of failure and a slowness to adapt.
Right.
But an anti-fragile company would encourage experimentation, decentralized decision-making.
Interesting.
And really try to foster a culture where mistakes are seen as learning opportunities.
So it's like they're building in these mechanisms to not only survive disruptions, but to use them to evolve and innovate.
Precisely. They're constantly seeking feedback, adapting to change, and building in redundancy so that they're less susceptible to single points of failure.
This is all starting to sound a lot like characteristics of successful startups in these rapidly changing industries.
It's not surprising. Those who are able to navigate that uncertainty and leverage it to their advantage are often the ones who come out ahead.
So antifragility isn't just this abstract concept. It's a practical framework for thriving in a world that is increasingly complex and unpredictable.
And it's a concept that can be applied to so many aspects of our lives. Whether we're talking about personal goals, relationships, organizations, or even how we design our cities and systems.
We've covered a lot of ground in this discussion. But I'm curious to know, are there any potential downsides or limitations to antifragility?
That's a great question and an important one to consider. While antifragility offers tremendous benefits, it's not a universal solution. There are contexts where other approaches might be more appropriate.
Like, for instance?
Well, imagine a situation where stability and predictability are paramount. Like in the operation of a nuclear power plant. Or the development of life-saving medications. In these cases, minimizing risk and ensuring strict adherence to protocols is essential.
So in those cases, resilience and robustness are key.
Exactly.
Rather than actively seeking out that volatility.
It's about understanding the specific context. And choosing the approach that best suits the situation. Antifragility is a powerful tool, but like any tool, it needs to be used wisely and strategically.
So the key takeaway here is to be mindful of these different approaches and to assess which one is most appropriate for the given challenge.
Absolutely. It's about expanding our toolkit and having a range of options at our disposal rather than dogmatically clinging to one approach in all situations.
It's about understanding those nuances and making informed choices.
Exactly.
This has been such an insightful exploration of antifragility.
It has.
We've covered so much from, the basic definition to its practical applications in various fields, and even potential limitations.
And hopefully it sparks some new ideas and ways of thinking for our listeners.
I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up this episode, I'm wondering, what are some tangible steps our listeners can take to cultivate more antifragility in their own lives?
That's a great question to ponder as we move into our final segment.
So we've established that antifragility is a pretty powerful tool. For navigating this world full of uncertainty. But how can we start, actually implementing this concept in our day-to-day lives? What are some tangible steps we can take?
Well, one of the most practical ways is to view setbacks and failures as opportunities for learning and growth. So instead of getting discouraged by obstacles, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I adjust my approach to be better prepared for similar challenges in the future?
That's a crucial mindset shift.
It is.
It's about embracing those bumps in the road and viewing them as stepping stones rather than roadblocks.
Exactly. And another powerful strategy is to actively seek out challenges and new experiences. Stepping outside of your comfort zone can help you build resilience and adaptability. Whether it's learning a new skill, taking on a challenging project at work, or simply trying something that scares you a little bit. These experiences can help you grow stronger.
It's about stretching those limits.
It is.
And expanding our capacity to handle, whatever life throws our way.
Precisely. And this ties into another key principle of antifragility, which is building in redundancy and flexibility into our systems.
Interesting.
This can apply to our personal lives just as much as our work lives. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Have backup plans and be prepared to pivot when things change.
So diversify our skills, our investments, even our social circles. Having multiple options and resources can make us much less vulnerable to those unexpected events.
And finally, I think it's essential to cultivate this mindset of continuous learning and experimentation. Be curious, ask questions,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to try new things.
Right.
The more we learn and adapt,
Yeah.
the better equipped we'll be to thrive in this world that's constantly changing.
It sounds like anti-fragility is not just a destination,
Right.
but an ongoing journey of growth and evolution.
It is.
It's about continually challenging ourselves,
Yeah.
adapting to change, and using those experiences to become stronger and more resilient.
And remember, it's not about becoming invincible,
Right.
or immune to challenges.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that challenges are an inherent part of life
Yeah.
and that we have the power to use them to our advantage.
It's about turning that adversity into an opportunity for growth and transformation.
Exactly.
This has been a fascinating exploration
It has.
of anti-fragility. Thank you for sharing your insights.
It's a pleasure.
And for helping us to understand how we can embrace uncertainty and thrive in the face of these, inevitable challenges.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this episode of Mental Minute.
Yeah.
We hope you found it insightful and empowering. Until next time, keep those minds sharp
Keep learning.
and embrace the power of anti-fragility.